Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it. I arrived home on Christmas Day to the smell of scorched pine and silence. Not the kind that brings peace, but the heavy kind that settles in your chest like grief. I pushed the front door open with my shoulder, juggling a bottle of red wine and a small, clumsily wrapped box I had picked up for Riley. But the lights were off, the heater barely humming, and the stockings above the fireplace drooped like forgotten promises. "Riley?" I called into the house. No answer. Not even the dog barked. My chest tightened as I stepped inside. The Christmas tree was still lit, flickering faintly in the corner like it was waiting for an audience that had never shown. A note lay on the hall table, my name written in Riley's handwriting, sharp and careless. "Richard, we decided to take the holiday somewhere warmer, Hawaii. You didn't answer your phone, and the flights were filling fast. Hope you understand." I didn't understand. I hadn't missed a call. My phone was in my coat pocket the whole flight back from Boston. And I dropped the wine onto the counter harder than I meant to and turned slowly at the sound of a faint shuffle behind me. "You're back," a frail voice said. Sophia, Riley's stepmother, emerged from the hallway wearing a robe far too thin for December. Her hands trembled around the handle of her walker, and her breath was shallow. Her white hair had thinned since I saw her last. "I thought maybe you'd stay with them," she added with a wry, almost resigned smile. "They let you here, alone?" My voice cracked without permission. She shrugged. "They said Hawaii wasn't a place for someone like me. I suppose I'm more useful dead." I couldn't speak. My legs carried me to her instinctively, guiding her to sit. Her fingers were icy. I saw the untouched dinner on the table, microwave turkey, the tray still half covered in plastic. She hadn't even opened the cranberry sauce. "I didn't know," I said. Sophia chuckled, bitter and dry. "You were never meant to. Riley temporarily blocked your phone the night before the flight, said you didn't need distractions." The pit in my stomach widened. "Riley planned this?" I asked quietly, already fearing the answer. "She and Freddie," Sophia said. "That fitness man she keeps calling when you're at work. I may be old, Richard, but I'm not stupid." My hands clenched. "Wait, Freddie, that guy with the tattoos and fake smile?" Sophia nodded, her eyes glinting. "She thinks I don't hear her late night calls or see the bank alerts when she forgets to log out of the family account." I sat back, blood roaring in my ears. How much did she take? Sophia met my eyes. Almost everything. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The wind outside howled like a warning. Then she leaned forward, voice quieter now, but sharper. "I think it's time we stop pretending they care. About you, about me. And maybe it's time we do something about it." I blinked. "What do you mean?" She smiled sadly. "I'm dying, Richard. The doctors told me 6 months, but I think I'll be lucky to see 2. Before I go, I want to leave behind more than a neglected grave. I want justice." The clock on the mantel ticked louder than before, and once festive home had transformed into a stage. The curtains had lifted, the show had begun. By morning, the silence had curdled into rage. I sat at the kitchen table, Riley's note crumpled beside a half-empty mug of black coffee gone cold. Across from me, Sophia wheezed lightly in her sleep, curled beneath a faded wool blanket. The house creaked around us, weary with secrets. I couldn't stop thinking about Freddie. Muscled, tanned, always a little too familiar with Riley during our couples training sessions I'd once foolishly agreed to. But back then, I trusted her. Trusted her with everything. Now the online banking app was open in front of me. Password, BeachBabe19. How ironic. The balance was nearly empty. A series of withdrawals over the past month, all labeled transfer, nearly $37,000. Gone. My thumb hovered over the last transaction. Hawaii Resort and Spa, Ocean View Suite. I swallowed the soreness in my throat. Sophia stirred. "You saw it, didn't you?" "I saw it," I replied flatly. "She used your name," she added. "Credit cards too." I tried to stop her once. She said if I ever opened my mouth, she'd put me in a state home and forget the address. Her voice trembled, but not from fear, shame. I sat down beside her. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Her eyes met mine. Because I didn't think you believed me. Not until she made the mistake of leaving us behind. Richard, she said softly, I have something to show you. She struggled to her feet, and I helped her to the hallway. From the closet, she pulled a box labeled Christmas ornaments. Inside, beneath plastic wreaths and dusty figurines, lay a black binder, unlabeled. She opened it. Photos, receipts, copies of Riley's emails. One message was from Riley to Freddie just 2 weeks ago. He still hasn't noticed. I told you he's blind. 1 more week, and we'll be set for good. I stared at the words until they blurred. The betrayal didn't feel cinematic. It felt quiet, like being smothered by a silk pillow. You kept all of this? I whispered. I've been watching a long time, she replied. But I'm dying now, and I won't let them get away with it, not after everything they've done. A crack had opened in the perfect picture frame that was my life, and through it, I could see the rot beneath. I nodded slowly. Then let's finish what they started. Sophia gave a faint, satisfied smile. The basement smelled of dust and secrets. Sophia leaned on my arm as I led her down the creaking stairs. Careful, she whispered, breath short. Behind the water heater, there's a lockbox. My fingers found the cold metal tucked in a wall cavity I'd never noticed. Inside it, a thick manila envelope, an old fountain pen, and a worn leather notebook tied shut with twine. She nodded. That's everything. My will, my medical records, and something else. I opened the envelope. Dozens of signed documents spilled out, property titles, bank statements, all bearing her name and mine. I changed it last spring, she said. I knew they'd leave me to die. They just didn't expect me to take my mind with me. My throat tightened. You put it all in my name. She held my gaze. I trust you, Richard. I know you won't let them erase me. I stared at the paperwork. Multiple accounts, one valued over $2 million. Hidden from Riley, hidden from her father. Sophia gripped my hand. When I go, you don't let them cry crocodile tears. You show them who I really was and what they did to me. My jaw clenched. I will, I promise. She exhaled, as if the weight had finally left her chest. Then let's get to work, before my time runs out. In that cold basement, our alliance was sealed, not in blood, but in truth. The house erupted with noise when the front door swung open. Sand clung to their shoes, laughter clung to their lips, until they saw me, standing there in black tie knotted, hands folded. Riley stopped mid-step. Richard, why are you dressed like that? She's gone, I said, voice steady. Sophia passed 4 days ago. A pause, then hollow gasps, not grief, surprise. You didn't wait? Riley's father barked, eyes narrowing. I sent messages, called, left voicemails. Not one of you replied, I said. The service was yesterday. Closed casket, no flowers from you. Riley's jaw trembled. We didn't think? No, you didn't care. I cut in. She died alone. Just me and a nurse. You were drinking Mai Tais. Riley's stepsister Lila dropped her sunglasses. This is twisted. You bury her without us? I walked to the sideboard, retrieving the sealed envelope Sophia had left behind. This is her final letter. I opened it, my voice steady as I read. To those who vanished when I needed you most, you died on my pensions, stole my medication money, laughed when I asked for warmth. I was never family, only obligation. Richard was the only one who stayed. Lila shifted uneasily. Riley scoffed. She always dramatized things. I met her gaze, then activated the TV. Sophia's recorded image flickered onto the screen. Her frail voice echoed through the room, recounting every stolen dollar. Each ignored doctor's call, every night shivering in silence while they sipped wine oceans away. She documented everything, I said. Receipts, transfers, medication logs, legal affidavits. It's all here. Riley's father stepped back, trembling. Lila burst into tears. You left her to die, I whispered. But she had the last word. The next morning, Hudson Parkinson's voice sliced through the stiff air like a scalpel. As executor of Sophia Davenport's estate, I am authorized to read her final will. The family gathered in the living room, tense and pale. Riley sat beside to her father, clutching his arm. Layla looked down, mascara smudged from silent tears. Hudson unfolded the document. Sophia, of sound mind, has disinherited all biological and step relatives with exception of Richard Davenport, to whom she leaves the entirety of her assets, valued at $3.2 million. A stunned silence. Riley's dad blinked. That's not legal. Hudson tapped a folder. Psychiatric evaluations, notarized video testimony. Everything meets the requirements. She has also made significant donations to charities dedicated to supporting elderly people who are being cruelly treated at home by close relatives. Riley shot to her feet. You manipulated her. I stood calmly. I stayed. You all left. Layla sobbed. We didn't know it was that serious. You didn't ask. I said, then pulled a velvet box from my pocket. Riley's wedding ring. I placed it on the table. This belongs to the woman I thought you were. Her lips parted, but I was already walking away. At the door, I turned once more. Sophia was neglected, forgotten, but in the end, she spoke louder than any of you ever listened. And with that, I stepped into the cold, clean air, free. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.